As I told you, now we'll look into the individual electrophilic substitution reactions. We'll start with nitration. So take down nitration of benzene. Nitration of benzene. We begin with nitration of benzene. Not only because it happens to be a reaction whose mechanism was understood the earliest, it happens to be one of the earliest known mechanisms, but also it's among the most closely studied mechanisms. Most closely studied and understood mechanism, where what we do is we treat benzene to a mixture of concentrated HNO3 and H2SO4 to get nitrobenzene. So introduces nitro group into the ring, so it's called nitration of benzene at around 60-70 degrees Celsius. This mixture of acids is commonly called nitrating mixture. This mixture of acids is commonly called nitrating mixture. I know to understand the mechanism, we try the following drills. First of all, who will tell me why I need a mixture of two acids? Or why take this nitrating mixture to carry out nitration? Who will tell me? I'm sure most of you know about this mechanism, this reaction. A mixture of nitric acid and H2SO4 gives you nitrobenzene. What generates the electrophile? The H2SO4. H plus of the H2SO4 generates the electrophile. Alright. Can you answer one more question? You are right, Nitric acid in this reaction, it acts as an acid or a base. Nitric acid in this reaction, it acts as an acid or a base. It happens to be a nice question. The moment I ask, it's a nice question, it's a different question, it has to be a base, but how? When you're right, see what happens. First of all, we try the following drills as I was telling you. If I treat benzene with nitric acid, either there is no reaction or the reaction is very slow. Only nitric acid, either there is no reaction or the reaction is very slow. HNO3 plus H2SO4 without benzene, I mean nitric acid and H2SO4 without benzene, again there is no appreciable change in behavior of this reaction. Only H2SO4, certainly there is no nitration. There cannot be a nitration without nitric acid. So if you treat with only sulfuric acid, there will be no nitration. Treating it with only nitric acid, it's extremely slow nitration which is observed. And if you only take a mixture of these two, again nothing significant occurs. This means all the three should be present together. This means all the three should be present together. And that sulfuric acid itself or nitric acid itself is not able to carry out this reaction, to a considerable extent. Also means they are reacting among each other, but that also needs the presence of benzene. The mechanism is the following. I could write nitric acid as any oxy acid. If you remember, any oxy acid, the number of OH groups is the number of replaceable hydrogen. See, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So an oxy acid is going to contain an OH group. Sulfuric acid produces H plus. Sulfuric acid produces H plus. That H plus reacts with OH minus, or that reacts with OH of nitric acid molecule. It takes out water, generating NO2 plus. Now this is how the electrophile is generated. This is how the electrophile is generated. Do all of you understand this? I repeat, sulfuric acid provides H plus to this OH, which loses water. I mean, I'll draw the intermediate, you know. This will gain this H plus which is coming from the acid. It will gain this positive charge, and then water will go out, forming NO2 plus, the electrophile which is needed, plus water, certainly water, and HSO4 minus. You know, H2SO4 is going to get converted to HSO4 minus after losing this H plus. So yes, sulfuric acid is acting as an acid, H2SO4 is acting as an acid, and because nitric acid is accepting H plus from sulfuric acid, let's know in this mixture nitric acid is acting as a base. And to be realistic, you know, it further takes one more mole of sulfuric acid. It takes one more mole of sulfuric acid. In the sense, you know, water is a better leaving group than OH minus, because OH minus is a stronger base, a poor leaving group. A cation is a stronger acid. A cation is a poor base and a better leaving group, I've told you in the past. So even instead of water, H3O plus is going to be an even better leaving group. And also, you know, H plus being so small, in presence of water, there is a leveling effect. You know, H plus gets lost into water, and what you have is hydroxonium ions, H3O plus. So if I have one more mole of sulfuric acid reacting with this water, it gives you H3O plus and HSO4 minus. So overall, I've consumed 2 moles of sulfuric acid. 1 mole provides H plus to this OH group, and this water going out might take 1 more H plus from another mole of H2SO4, converting water to H3O plus. I don't know, this H2SO4 again becomes HSO4 minus. Overall, I could write HNO3 plus 2H2SO4 producing NO2 plus, which is, you know, the most sought after species, because it's going to be the electrophile, and this electrophile is going to attack the ring and going to carry out nitration, plus H3O plus 2HSO4 minus. So certainly it's going to require 2 moles of H2SO4. It's all balanced, you know, it's all balanced. Presence of 4 ions, you know, 2 particles anionic, 2 particles cationic, is also confirmed by some data which will be more you know, comprehensive to you. Once you read colligative properties, there is going to be a Van 't Hoff factor which could tell you about the number of particles. That Van 't Hoff factor is very close to 4. Also suggests an interaction of this kind producing these 4 ions. Fair enough? And nitric acid is certainly acting as a base. It gives you Na2 plus, which attracts the ring, formation of a sigma complex, loss of H plus, forming nitrobenzene as the final aromatic product. And because all this interaction is occurring in a more pronounced way, only in presence of benzene, also tells you, also tells you about the pi complex. Without benzene, it's not maturing till this extent. They don't appreciably react to form these particles in such a pronounced way. It requires a benzene around. Without each other, they don't work independently that good. So it again calls for that approach. that maybe nitric acid is initially forming a pi complex with the ring. Nitric acid is initially forming a pi complex with the ring. Sulfuric acid, in course of providing this H plus, taking out this water, is strengthening the association between the ring and NO2, letting this pi bond, pi complex mature to a sigma complex, and that's how this NO2 plus finds its place into the ring. And then it matures to a Wheeland complex, a sigma complex, this NO2 plus attacking this ring. After this pi complex, after a pi complex is going to have a sigma complex of this kind, where N2 plus would have been the attacking electrophile. In the fast step, H plus goes out. This H plus might be picked by HSO4 minus. This H plus might be picked by HSO4 minus and will convert 1 mole to H2SO4. But the major product by and large will be nitrobenzene. Fair enough? Now it happens to be the least complicated mechanism, very much similar to the general mechanism which we studied. I repeat, nitric acid itself is not capable of carrying it out because of two reasons. First of all, nitric acid itself can form a pi complex only. Formation of a sigma complex is a little more challenging in absence of sulfuric acid, which acts as an acid, provides H plus and makes this NO2 plus more readily available or cements its place into the ring. Also, nitric acid dissociating itself, it could be looked upon as an equilibrium of this kind. Is largely favored backwards. So nitric acid providing for NO2 plus of its own, nitric acid providing for NO2 plus of its own is going to be a reversible equilibrium. Is going to be an equilibrium largely favored towards the reactants, and the amount of NO2 plus available this way will be far less to make this reaction move at a fair pace. So nitric acid itself doesn't provide the amount of NO2 plus which is required. Sulfuric acid acting as an acid, nitric acid acting as a base. This is the balanced reaction in which they interact, forming NO2 plus. It finds its way into the sigma complex. Loss of H plus in the fast step, and you have nitrobenzene formed. Fair enough? Now, sulfuric acid is acting as an acid only. If sulfuric acid, the role is to act as an acid only, provide H plus, and let NO2 plus be an independent electrophile. Abstracting NO2 plus from nitric acid, if H2SO4 plays the role only of an acid providing H plus, any acid should do that, or maybe any strong acid should do that. That's true. I mean, you can work with a mixture of HNO3 and maybe HClO4. Perchloric acid is among the strongest of the oxy acids. Still, this reaction is on. So you can carry out nitration using another strong acid instead of sulfuric acid. That further authenticates the mechanism that H2SO4 is acting as an acid and nitric acid is acting as a base in the interaction. In the process, you get NO2 plus, which forms the sigma complex and then matures to the final product. Certainly, I told you it's the least complicated electrophilic substitution. So, observations are as per expectations. C6H6 will have the same rate of the reaction as C6G6, which will have the same rate of reaction as C6T6. That also explains loss of H plus or D plus or T plus in the respective complexes in the fast step. So there is no primary kinetic isotopic effect. Please note down, in nitration of benzene there is no primary kinetic isotopic effect as expected. But we have even spoken about secondary kinetic isotopic effect. As long as it's hydrogen, deuterium or tritium into the ring, which is the bond which is about to be broken, because it's done in the fast step, the rates remain the same and there is no primary kinetic isotopic effect. But we have encountered situations like this, where you have protium, deuterium or tritium, say in or at benzylic carbon. Now tell me, this time will the rates be the same or different? Toluene, it's deuterized toluene. Tritium here instead of deuterium. So if you have protium, deuterium or tritium at benzylic carbon, what do you expect? Will the rate still be the same or different? Bolo. First of all, do you find this methyl group playing a role towards the rate of the process of an electrophilic substitution with this ring? Say yes or no. I mean, even a no will do, but it has to be convincing. Do you find this methyl playing a role in activating or deactivating the ring? Say yes or no. So you feel it's activating the ring? Say yes or no. Yes. By hyperconjugation, and that will call for the breakage of CH, CD or CT, but those bonds are not directly involved in the mechanism. Hey, those bonds are not directly involved in the mechanism, because in the overall process I'll have nitro coming at ortho and para positions, because you know they're either ortho or para orienters, or they're ortho and para orienters. So overall the carbon hydrogen deuterium or tritium bond are not going to be directly replaced. Still they play a role by hyperconjugation. You know, by hyperconjugation these bonds provide these alpha hydrogens towards the activity of the ring and towards the stability of the Wheeland complex. So that way these bonds are indirectly related to the stability of the Wheeland complex and will thus affect the rate of the process. Certainly, because a CH is going to break more easily than a CD, which is going to break more readily than a CT because of their bond energies. Same would be the availability of these bonds towards hyperconjugation. Fair enough? So this time CH3 more than CD3 when they are at benzylic carbon, and we know this as secondary kinetic isotopic effect. So this time KH upon KD will be larger than 1, but slightly larger than 1. We've had discussions over this in the past. Fair enough? I repeat, when it's hydrogen, deuterium or tritium on the carbon itself, on the ring itself, ring carbon, because I know this bond is going to be broken in the first step, the rates will be the same, and there is no significant difference in the rate of these of nitration over these three molecules. I say for nitration of benzene there is no primary kinetic isotopic effect, but if the same bonds exist at benzylic carbon, there is going to be slight difference in the rate of the process and the yield of the product. You know, because the hyperconjugative hydrogen from CH is going to be more readily available than from CD, which is going to be more readily available than CT, and they indirectly affect the chance of the process by stabilizing the Wheeland complex through hyperconjugation. So there is going to be some difference in the rate of the process. It's going to be slightly more than unity, and that's called secondary isotopic effect. A bond which is not directly involved in the in the process, but is indirectly going to affect the rate of the process. So for nitration of benzene, there is no primary isotopic effect, but yes, there is a secondary kinetic isotopic effect. We move on, and then we talk of say the second reaction in the league. It also happens to be the most popular among the group. It's called a named reaction. Any guesses? Electrophilic substitution, most popular. Friedel-Crafts, FCR. Friedel-Crafts reaction, FCR. Even the weather gods are happy. It's about to rain, I guess. FCR, the abbreviated form of Friedel-Crafts reaction. Friedel-Crafts reaction. By FCR, we're going to generally mean either alkylation or acylation. You know, when I call it nitration, I meant nitration of the ring. Bromination means, or bromination meant bromination of the ring. So again, it's going to involve alkylation or acylation of the ring. Most of the times, it's about introducing a group into the ring. It was bromine or nitro before. It's going to be alkyl or acyl group this time. I'll quickly give you two examples. A ring with RCl, say CS3Cl, in presence of AlCl3 will give you alkylated benzene, you know, which could be toluene plus HCl as the byproduct, you know. Now when it's an alkyl group or methyl in this case, it's going to be called alkylation because an alkyl group gets introduced. And what's an acyl group? RC double bond O, this is called an acyl group. So with RCOCl and the same catalyst, you'll get C double bond OR plus HCl. Certainly with CS3COCl, the product would be ring COCS3. What is this molecule called? What is this molecule called? Hey, what's the name of this molecule? Alright, let me make it simpler. What's this molecule? What's this called? What benzene? What's this called? Methyl chloride. This one is ethanol chloride, IUPAC nomenclature. What is this? Does it undergo tautomerism? Say yes, for God's sake, say yes. Does it undergo tautomerism? Still you're undecided. Hey, it's called acetophenone. Acetophenone. Ring COCS3, ring COR, RCO is called acyl group. You know, this is going to belong to acylation. This is acylation of the ring, an acyl group introduced to the ring. So this one is Friedel-Crafts alkylation and this one is Friedel-Crafts acylation. Again, the first look of the reaction, the first look of this reaction suggests it's about AlCl3. I repeat, it's about AlCl3 drawing Cl minus. Fine. Generating R plus, forming a sigma complex plus AlCl4 minus loses H plus, makes it aromatic again, so it's alkylated benzene, final product. This has to be the fast step. Say yes or no? Yes, sir. And AlCl4 minus with H is going to form HCl plus AlCl3, so it acts as a catalyst. It acts as a catalyst, an electrophile generator, or you know, a Lewis acid. Now you know this has to be the general approach. The real approach would be RCl forming a pi complex with this. RCl forming a pi complex with this. CS3Cl forming a pi complex with the ring. And as AlCl3 minus takes away Cl minus towards itself, the association between the ring and CS3 grows. to a matured sigma complex which loses H plus to form toluene. Fair enough? In this case, again it appears AlCl3 is going to take the Cl minus, generating an electrophile which is RC double bond O plus, an electrophile which is an acyl carbocation. This acyl carbocation reacting with the ring, forming a sigma complex of this kind, RCO attached to the ring, and this might want to lose H plus in the first step, forming CO, CS3 or COR. Fair enough? But yet again the real story has to be RCOCl forming a pi complex with the ring. Due to AlCl3 it matures to a sigma complex which loses H plus in the first step, forming acylated ring, Now this also happens to be a very convenient method of preparing alkyl benzenes. Also happens to be very convenient way of preparing alkyl benzene. In this case, you could prepare toluene, with C2H5Cl. You might prepare ethyl benzene and so and so. So one of the applications is it's used in conversions in various ways. Ring with C2H5Cl in presence of AlCl3 should give you ethyl benzene. Fine. Ring with chloropropane, the chloroethane giving ethyl benzene with chloropropane. Now what's going to be the product this time? What's going to be the product this time? Is it going to be N-propyl benzene or is it going to be isopropyl benzene? A or B? B? How? From the 2-degree carbocation. Alright, so reasons enough for me to believe that Cl minus is taken up by AlCl3 forming a 1-degree carbocation. Now this gets rearranged to a 2-degree carbocation because it's more stable. And how does it move to a 2-degree carbocation? Hydride shift. Hydride shift. It's a common molecular rearrangement. Hydrogen here is going to migrate, forming a 2-degree carbocation. Fair enough? So with 1 chloropropane, you don't get N-propyl benzene, you get isopropyl benzene, you get cumene. Fair enough? Now, this is like a limitation of the process, because if it happens this way, if the chain gets rearranged depending upon a more stable carbocation, then it's difficult to produce long chain alkyl benzene that way. It's going to be difficult to produce propyl butyl benzene. Say yes or no? Yes, sir. So that's first limitation which we encounter, that long chain alkyl benzenes are difficult to produce because they undergo a rearrangement of this kind. This is one limitation of FCR. Take down, this is one limitation of FCR while you try to produce long chain alkyl